Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Bahati Joyce and today we are talking about 21st century microwave relationships. What do I mean by microwave relationships in the 21st century? Well, in today's day and age, everything is just so fast, so consumed with technology that it's affected our relationships in one way or another. So that's what I call a microwave relationship, because it's literally 30-second boom, heat, and you're done. So talking about the traditional roles in the past, it was just very clear. Nowadays, you find that relationships are a lot more complex. I mean, take for example, just Facebook relationship status. There's like now 20 options and I'm like, okay, when did that happen? But basically the point is, when you compare how relationships were back 20, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, they're very different from how the relationships are now. So that's why I call them the 21st century microwave relationship. Everything is on the go. Everything is on the go. What are some of the benefits with that? What are some of the challenges with that? Well, I think because of technology, our relationships have somewhat improved in the sense that communication is faster, communication is better. There's so much more you can do together. There's so much more that you can do faster. That's a plus, right? Yes and no. I feel that sometimes with being in such a microwave generation, sometimes we don't understand the value of time. So when it comes to relationships, how does that affect us? Well, for me, I've found that microwave relationships are somewhat like replaceable. You know what I mean? Everything is just so replaceable in the 21st century, and that affects our value. It affects how we value people. We're at a time when we value things and use people, honestly. Let's just be real. So when it comes to having personal relationships, sometimes it's like, yeah, well, you know what? I can replace you. Just get something else that works for me. Whereas in the past, people didn't really have that luxury in terms of logistics, in terms of communication, but also in terms of society. The expectations were different. If you were in a marriage, for example, it was different. You were expected to stay, you know? But these days, it is a surprise. If you can find those real relationships in this Instagram, Snapchat, everything is so picture perfect day and age, you are very lucky. So I think with the 21st century microwave relationships, we really have to learn to value. We have to learn how to value people. We have to learn how to value relationships. For me, I see relationships as a form of a currency. When you think about it, you are as wealthy as the network that you have, okay? So when we're talking about relationships, that's where your real value is. As much as we are evolving in terms of our technology, in terms of industrialization, innovation, and all that, I feel like we've not really redefined how we do our relationships. And there's almost some sort of like social retardation. We're becoming zombies. Zombies everywhere. Just walk down the street. And again, it has its pluses and its negatives. But honestly, I feel like in this particular one, when it comes to relationships, the negatives outweigh the positives for sure. I'm gonna give you some tips. Number one, how can we do relationships better in this microwave day and age? Number one, learn to be present. Yes, you can be present and not present. So when you are with people, I feel like we need to learn to unplug and be present in the present moment here, not on Facebook, not on Instagram. If you are with people around you, be present, enjoy them, connect with them, be in the moment. I've fallen for this so many times where I've missed moments just because I was thumb rolling. Number two, I would say keep it simple. A lot of complications in this 21st century are because I feel that so many things have been blurred. And sometimes some of these things are really just simple. If you miss someone, tell them. If you feel like calling someone, call them. say what you mean what you say, and just keep it simple. There's so many things that can complicate relationships when it comes to technology, when it comes to showbiz and how we want to show off and show people the life that we want to be living, or the life that we want to show that we're living. Just keep it simple, man. Be you and actually live that life. Don't just pretend to live that life. Live it. Go out there and just do you. Number 3, I would say learn to have some alone time. Now, this one has helped me personally, and you might be able to relate. I'm the kind of person who I really love to rejuvenate and have some quiet time, have some alone time. I've learned to do that because in this very fast-paced world, sometimes it's easy to lose yourself. And when you are drained, it's very hard for you to give your all, to be there and to give yourself fully to any relationships that you might have around you. So I have learned, honestly, literally, to sometimes not explain myself to anyone and just disappear, just unplug. Don't feel the social pressure to be present everywhere, to be everywhere. No, like unplug, take some you time, go on a vacation, go on a holiday, rejuvenate. That's the best way that you can add to your relationships. Number 4, you want to make the most of your relationships? Remember this one. Be intentional. Nothing happens if nothing happens. Duh. If anything is growing, somebody is taking care of it. So guess what? You're gonna have to water your garden. Those relationships that you feel you care about, you need to really be intentional about them. So with relationships, we can't just neglect a relationship and then wonder what happened. And I remember one time someone told me something that I don't agree with at all. And they told me that relationships are organic. I came to evaluate later on and I realized that I don't know if I really believe in that. I don't know if there is such a thing as organic relationships or relationships that kind spontaneously just grow. Now, you can have chemistry spontaneously. You can get to know each other spontaneously and connect. All those spontaneous reactions are possible. But I don't believe that relationships can grow spontaneously. There's no such thing as an organic relationship to me. You have to grow that relationship that is important to you. That's what I believe. So I believe in intention. I believe in being intentional about our relationships. And sometimes that's missing in this day and age, the 21st century. Well, like I said, microwave, boop, boop, in and out. And you know what? The thing with the microwave is, as quickly as you warm the food is as quickly as it cools down. So you gotta be intentional. Sometimes, going back to how our mothers did it, huh? That's matoke, boiled in that nice pot, taking hours to boil, to cook. When they would take their time to cut those onions and tomatoes and make sure everything cooks slowly over time. There's a way their food tasted. That's what I'm talking about. Take time for those things that you think are gonna be worth it. Be intentional about it. Okay, so those are my few tips on how to navigate these 21st century microwave relationships. That's just a few. You could have your own. Feel free to share them on the comments below. I'd love to hear more on what you think about relationships in this day and age. And how do we kind of navigate this world that's just getting crazier? Everything is getting smaller. Globalization is happening and all that. I would love to hear from you. So drop some love. And don't you forget to subscribe. If you liked what you're watching, please go check out my other videos and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're here with the Bahati Joyce.